You collaborated with the Notorious B.I.G. You've collaborated with Wu-Tang. You've collaborated with a lot of people. Um, and I remember just, I mean, I've seen some of the documentaries and even that scripted series they have now about, Tupac and Biggie. And I also remember being in grade school while it was going on, and then, both of them died. And I would see people in school like weighing in on it where it's like, that's West Coast, we're East Coast. And I'd just be sitting there and I'm just like, we live in a suburb in Pittsburgh and you're eating a fruit roll up that your mom packed you. I'm sure whatever conflicts are going on, we have no part of. But
Yeah.
but what was that like from your end? Just kind of living through all that and being involved with it to some extent.
Well, I went back with Big before he was known. Before Biggie really blew up, I was down with Biggie. We was in the studios together. We drive around in cars together. We, do the late night calls, talking about random shit and talking about our deals, talking about bitches, talk about boom, boom, boom. Like the thing that people forget is Biggie was a child. Like we were children. Like Big died at 24 years old. So right now it's such an iconic figure. You think like, wow, but like, no, we were goofy kids. Big was more mature than me. He already kind of had his shit together. I was a maniac out of control. And he used to call me to almost discipline me sometimes. Like, yo, you don't need to be doing that. Yo, you don't need, yo, you're throwing it away. Yo, yeah. Like he would, and I'd be like, show it, fuck them all, fuck them all. Like I was the crazy knucklehead. But yeah, I didn't know at the time that Biggie would become one of the most iconic people ever in music or ever in hip hop. I didn't know that. I just thought, oh, yo, he got a dope voice. Yo, that kid kills it. Biggie, he's gonna be dope. Like I never knew that he was gonna just be the big, and you don't know that stuff when you're next to people and hanging out with people. You don't know, and then you don't know that boy's gonna be dead soon. You don't know that either. I remember getting a call. It was 7 in the morning. Yo, Biggie died. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's crazy. And then see, I knew Biggie, and then but he was so famous at the time that all these people from my neighborhood, from this neighborhood, oh, I'm going to Biggie's funeral. Oh, Biggie. They were all screaming and crying all over the streets. I was like, yo, you motherfuckers didn't even know him. I was young. I couldn't understand it. I'm like, yo, this is a man you don't know. I know this man. And but now I understand it more. It's you listen to the art, you listen to the music, and you become close and connected with an artist. So when you realize that artist does not exist anymore, it's like ripping a piece of you out of you, So, but at the time I was like, I thought people were faking it, or I don't know what the hell was going on, I'm like, fuck, who are you? You don't know him. Get the fuck out of here, But no, it's I was a young kid. I was a young, immature kid, but. Yeah, rest in peace, Biggie. It's still crazy all these years later. And then Pac, the next, Pac was the year before, actually. Pac was 96. Yeah, Big was 97. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he was only 25, right? I mean, they were both
25 years old. Biggie was 20, Pac was 25 years old. Yep.
I mean, when you look at
Pac too. I met Tupac. I wasn't friends with Tupac, but I seen him around at the tunnel and hey, R.A., Tupac, hey, what's up, Pac? We shook. He wasn't like, I wasn't a fan of Pac at the time. I wasn't like, oh, Pac, I was just like, hey, what's up, dude? How are you? Boom, boom. And, years later, people, did you meet Pac? I was like, yeah, we met. I don't have no stories about Pac, though. Well, the only stories was Pac had said some foul words about my boys from Mobb Deep. Prodigy, rest in peace, and Havoc. And Mobb Deep was from Queensbridge. And I was in the studio with Queensbridge with Mobb every day, And when I was hurting financially, they were letting me come to their studio sessions and use their studio time when they weren't working, say they were out doing something and they had a lockout, they'd let me just stay in the studio and use their studio. So when Pac was saying bad things about them, I kind of made some interludes for their album where I was making some foul interludes, but then Pac died. So then it's, this is crazy. The guy's dead, like nobody wanted to see Tupac killed or dead, everybody was just kids, So
after, I mean, did you Because the way they portray it in films and the way you see it portrayed, it's like there were just these, little butting of heads that happened that formed this big rivalry. Like, did you see any of that unfold in real time, or was it just kind of like, whoa, somebody's dead? Like, what was that like from your end, or were you kind of just not really involved on that end of it?
Yeah, I wasn't too involved with that. I knew there was like talk, but you know what it is? It's the rap game. And in the
Hmm.
rap game, everybody talks. Everybody's talking shit. And even Pac was, hey, fuck you, Chino XL, and fuck you, this guy. Rap was always a competitive sport. So you always had words with this guy, or you always thought you were better than that guy, or this girl thought she was better than that girl. Like, you never thought it was going to come down to, oh, well, maybe other people did, but not me. I didn't think that it would come down to Biggie being gone forever. No, I didn't think that was. I didn't think that. So I didn't see it coming. I didn't know. But after Pac got killed, that was a big deal, and I guess anything was possible at that time. Now, it's like, okay, this is the rivalry. So I don't know. I wasn't. I was young and not really too knowing about what was going on behind the scenes as far as the gangster stuff. I was more the music guy. So.
Did it have like an impact on you? Like where, I mean, did you kind of unplug for a little bit, or did you just kind of did it like refocus you where you're just like,
It
I'm
was
all about,
well.
yeah, like
Here's the thing. I went through a whole. I signed to Jive Records, and I had a big situation, and I had everybody trying to work with me in the industry, and then I caught some charges and some lawsuits and some. I was young and wild, and and I ended up losing my situation, and then I was being asked to do work with other labels, but then the other labels were being told by this label not to do this. So I was, at the time when they got killed, I was really like almost blackballed from the industry. Like, I was friends with everybody still, but it was almost like, that's the guy you can't mess with. So I was banned from doing shows because I started like this 700-man riot at like a big event with MTV filming and Hot 97 hosting and Tribe Called.
what'd you do? Why did you do that? What happened?
Well, it was the days of when the hookers were still on the street, and I paid some hookers to come in with us and say, hey, we'll duct tape you and handcuff you. Is that okay? They said, yeah, sure. So, I paid them, and I had some hookers duct taped and handcuffed for fun, and then but it was a label event, and then some guys in the front row had a problem with us from the neighborhood, and then my boy pulled his ass out and put it on the guy's face, and then everybody started throwing punches, and then guys came in from outside, like the side door, with guns, and
What?
everybody started storming the stage and punching. Like, it was like 700 men. My boys were throwing.
And MTV's just hanging out through all this? Like where, like
They
was
were
Carson
there.
Daly like announcing throughout?
Nah, it wasn't Carson Daly. It was an event for Jive Record Showcase. It was
Oh, okay.
me, Keith Murray. They were just filming for the, like they were filming a lot of the events, and Funkmaster Flex was hosting with R.I.P. Phife Dawg, Tribe Called Quest, and it was a wild event, and that hurt me because the next night, I got, it went all over the radio. This was before the internet, all over the radio. Oh, who does this guy think he is? How dare he do this? Blah, 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 blah. And it spread like wildfire. And then the whole rest of the week, all the shows that I had lined up were canceled. And, the radio spots I had were canceled and canceled and canceled. So like, I was canceled. I got canceled in the 90s, way before the internet. But then as time progressed, I started doing everything independently. And then I started making a lot of money as an independent artist selling vinyls, because vinyls back in the day, you could sell out to Japan, to boom, boom. So then the labels about 5-6 years later started chasing me again. And like it was all new people that had nothing to do with the old people. The old people were gone or fired or onto some big pop record or whatever and didn't care about the rap stuff anymore, whatever. But 5-6 years later, it started to slowly, and before I was able to come back and do shows in the States, I already started going overseas and doing shows because they weren't scared of me. So, but then all of a sudden there was a label called Raucous, and I was putting out some records with Raucous, and they let me do a little showcase in New York. And in the Village Voice, they used my picture because I looked all crazy. And then, oh shit, he's that guy's back and he's okay, he's safe, you know. So it slowly worked my way back in. But the blackball part, the canceled part of my career was right at the time when Biggie and Tupac were killed and all of this stuff. So I was going through my own dark, deep, you know, homicidal, suicidal depression of insanity at the time. So, yeah, I didn't get my I wasn't really mentally right until probably 99, you know? So, yeah.
Which countries were, when you say like you really expanded and started going worldwide, which countries were kind of the most receptive?
Oh, well, I always do good in Europe. I did good in Europe, you know. So, you know, I was doing Scandinavia, you know, Germany, of course, where I am right now. But, you know, a lot of where the pretty girls, the Polands, the Swedens, you know, the Czech Republics, you know. And then, you know, when you go over to Australia, the crowds are wild and crazy in Australia. Yeah, the whole world, though, loves hip hop. So, you know, I went to Japan just before the pandemic happened to see Nonito Donaire fight. And, you know, it was when you could just take a plane ride to wherever the fuck you want. There was no COVID. So I had just finished recording the album. So a friend of mine said, let's go to Japan. I said, sure, let's go to Japan. So I was in Japan, and I get to the hotel and all these, you know, dudes waiting with all my CDs for me to sign over in Japan. You know, it don't matter what country it is. Hip hop is worldwide right now, you know? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so intriguing to me because I think the comedy world is finally, well, I guess it's been there for a while, but now it's like English speaking comedy is almost everywhere in the world. I mean, Berlin has an English speaking club. And once COVID's over, I'm just like, you know what? I am anywhere where even if there's two people who want to see me, I'm going to try to make it happen. I want to just get as many places in the world as I possibly can.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and